Hello, hello, welcome to another fresh episode of Tea With Tay Pod. And this episode is proudly sponsored by Lipton, my faves, of course. You know, one of the things that I'm very happy about, or I'm big on Tea With Tay Pod is people's journeys and their stories, especially stories that inspire other people. And my guest today has a very inspiring story because I know her. Where with the hustle.
Come on.
Put your hands together for Genoveva Umeh.
Come on. Wow. T, I'm on your pod like this.
Now you be this so
Maru,
star girl.
Come on.
I know people always say, oh, is it because I'm not a big star? I'm not a big star. But you're a star, you're a star. Just, what is your journey about? That's my
Yeah.
own thing. Or like, I need to tell stories that
Absolutely.
inspire people. And I think your story inspires me a lot, even as your friend, right? So I want us to take it from the beginning. Let's go back to where it started from, right?
Right.
Let's talk about growing up. Were you raised here?
No, I was born in Enugu State.
Yeah?
Yes, Enugu, Core City.
Why did I think you were born in the
040.
UK?
I think it's because of my accent, right?
Right.
Yeah, but like accent fish up. You know what I mean? It has learnt, a couple of other tongues. Yeah. But no. I was born in Enugu. Yeah, born and raised up until I was 11, 12.
Right.
Yeah, 12, I think. And I moved to the UK. I moved to London with my family.
Oh, so you're just
So, first off, my mom moved because she's a nurse.
right.
So she was the one that got the opportunity to kind of like start practicing in the UK. And then 2 years later, Dad and I joined.
No, that's beautiful. No, tell me about growing up. Before we get to the UK, tell me about growing up in Enugu. What was it like?
Enugu State. It was freeing. Recently someone asked me that, and I said that it felt like I was on holiday.
In Enugu?
In Enugu, because like I don't know, maybe my parents like shielded me from like the realities or harsh realities of living in Nigeria, but I just always felt happy and like very much involved in like creative arts. So like creating things. I was part of like dance community in church. Part of like the singing community. So we would be doing Now Behold the Lamb with the gloves and everything. Contemporary dancing was
Fresh
everything.
lamb.
It was everything. And we're just doing
I
it,
know,
and
I
it was
know.
so much fun. And I also felt like protected and loved. I know that like growing up, like we had this next door neighbor, and they would always like look after me and like really look out for me.
When your mom is off to work.
Yeah, mom's off to work,
Yeah.
dad's off to work, because dad was like working in another state. He was working in Anambra State whilst we lived in Enugu, so that journey was like
A proper
a
Igbo
lot.
girl.
Yeah, but also like I just got to like see like experience discipline with my family, because like my dad's essentially I call him a lecturer because he's an academic and he literally just he was teaching a lot, growing up. So and then my mom was a nurse, so like, their work schedules was always crazy.
Yeah.
But like they always like just kind of got me involved and loved me and like made sure that I was doing interesting, fun stuff
Oh, that's
that
so
kids are
sweet.
supposed to do.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have a 13-year-old brother. Yeah,
He was born in the UK.
yeah, well, he was born in Nigeria as well. So he got to experience Niger life, and then he experienced UK life, and then he messed up, and he was sent back to Niger, and now he's back in the UK. He was one of those, that one. So the thing is, yeah, with my parents, it was like, okay, we're in the UK, we're in London. It's very hard for like black teenage boys to live in London, especially when that knife crime is ripe.
Yes.
They were like, you're not gonna disgrace me.
Send you back.
We're gonna send you back. So no, but he's my G. Love him. Like he's my G. Like we get on. Like, and I tell him all the time, I'm not your parent. I'm your sister. So anything, just I've got you. Just like talk to me. So yeah,
Very
really love my relationship with my brother actually.
So you moved at 11. Did you experience any culture shock? Because this was you already grown. You were 11. So it means that you were teenage years.
Yeah. So I remember like first off just getting to the UK and it being like really cold. I remember I was wearing a suit jacket, my mom's suit jacket, and I remember like getting out and then it being so cold that my dad had to take off his socks and he put it in my as gloves because it was so cold. And then just getting home and like seeing like a white Christmas, because this is the first time I saw snow.
Oh, you went in December.
I went in December and I got to experience snow for the first time. And then like having to like wrap up warm. And then we get to school, my first day of school, and like, one of my peers was like, where are you from? I was like, oh, I'm from Nigeria. Like, he legit, now till today, he'll say to me, oh yeah, I'm from Nigeria, or
Because you're very Nigerian.
yeah, because like the way I pronounced it, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm from Nigeria. Or, like I remember we were in class and I needed to like excuse myself or whatever, and he was like, oh, nobody was like looking my way, and I didn't know how to tell or get like the teacher's attention. And he was like, and I just left. I left the room.
It's a lie.
Yeah. I left the room and came back thinking, I got away with it. And everyone's now staring at me as soon as I got into the room.
Like,
the teacher, the DT teacher, I'll never forget. She was like, why did you leave? Why did you leave? We're doing textile, da, 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 da. You're not supposed to leave. If you need to leave, you tell me, okay? And I was
why couldn't you tell her?
Because I was so...
Shy?
Yeah, I was shy. And like, it was my first day. And I wasn't outspoken growing up. Like, I was just, me. Yeah, I was really shy. So I wasn't that outspoken growing up. So like, my teacher was like, oh yeah, so if I think about like family and I think about that particular school, it's like, okay, you're very much African. It's tough for you to be yourself. I remember like making a friend though, like I made one friend and she was Ghanaian, and we like stuck together.
Yeah.
For the entirety of the Africans stuck together for the entirety of high school. Wow. Literally. So yeah.
But did you eventually fit in? Because at some point after a while you make friends that you've had since.
Yeah, so after a while I sort of started like making new friends. I made new friends with like different people from different cultures, and then I figured that I wasn't so alien, and I had the ability to make friends. So I started doing that, like and I think drama as well was like one of like the catalysts for me to like,
so you got into drama
express myself
in like high school. That's what you guys call it, right?
Yeah, so like
drama here,
so my drama class in high school was like 2 hours of like the best time of my life, and it felt like the shortest time. I didn't have enough time. Like, there needs to be like 4 hours of this class, because I really, really, really loved it. And it was the place where I felt the most free, just like free to express myself. And I was always like ready to like do whatever the work was or take on whatever like a task we have. And I was even more excited to do anything outside of school. Like, we're going to see a play at a theater, let's do it, or like we're going to film something. First time we were getting on screen, and we were going with like this producer that had been on a show that we frequently watch on primetime television, and we were so excited. I was so excited because I remember directing a scene for that. So yeah, that was like so exciting. And
directing a scene.
Yeah.
This was like in high school.
High school.
So you guys were already giving such like
so we gave ourselves
tasks.
like roles. That one directed, one wrote. So one, made sure we had costume. This was the first time that we kind of dressed up as though we were like futuristic. And we had, contact lenses. And this was the first time wearing contact lenses. I had no idea that those things hurt. They hurt the first 30 minutes that you put them on. I had no idea. You. So I experienced that in high school. So yeah.
So you knew it was going to be acting after school, right? But you didn't study acting.
So I did I know it was going to be acting after school? No.
So you have so invested in drama in high school?
Because I thought it was a hobby. I'm like first generation immigrant. My parents worked hard to get here. Get to London at least, and my thoughts were like, okay, I can't just now be like, okay, I want to like do drama.
Yeah, because it wasn't serious to them. Man.
Yeah, and I didn't think they would take it seriously, and I also didn't trust myself to go down that path because it takes a lot of confidence and courage to be like, oh yeah, I want to study that in drama in university, and I'm gonna make a life and I'm gonna be a star.
Me too. Oh my, I couldn't even say it to them. I wanted to do theatre, but I couldn't say it.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like, like the things you do as a hobby. Okay, now that's
let's do drama. Let's act film.
That's it. Pack it. Go and do 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So but I just enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed it. I went because I attended drama school. right after like figuring out that I really liked it in high school, I went to Identity School of Acting.
Right after school.
Yeah, after school.
Oh.
Yeah, literally. When I say after school, I mean like extracurriculum activity.
Right.
Yeah, that I would do. So it was like, I think it was like Fridays in the evenings and Saturdays in the evenings, and then I'd go to that.
So your parents supported the acting bits,
Right?
but not as a course of study.
No, not as a course of study. So and even with like my drama school that I wanted to do as extracurriculum, I had to pay for it.
Yourself?
Yeah.
How did you pay?
I got a job. I worked in Primark for 4 years.
Yeah,
I've been working since I was 16.
Girl. So that's what I keep telling these people, that we've been working since forever.
Yeah, literally been working since I was
Wow.
16. Yeah, I got a job in Primark at Tottenham Court Road, like one of their biggest branches. Hectic, that place actually.
Yes, a lot of people coming in and going.
Yeah, because a tourist space.
Yeah.
So did that. So I was able to like, get some coin for to pay for my semester.
Okay, so you worked at Primark to save up to.
Yeah, I worked at Primark. And
and
the money was nice.
You won't go far for life. So you go say don't pick me won't go far for life.
Yeah, no, and
Wow.
it was great. Like, just like doing that and then like funding that, and then I loved acting, right?
Right.
And then I think having a part-time job really, really does help you. Like, it exposes you to people early.
Yeah. You become very responsible.
Right.
Yeah, you learn about deliverables early.
Yeah,
I think that's
and you learn who you are, like whether you're a people's person or like we need to work on that. I worked for a long time. I even become a supervisor. Yeah, I became a supervisor on the tills. Like I was like,
at what age?
19.
Okay, so you worked there for 4 years.
Yeah.
At the same place consistently.
Yeah. Well, 2 years at the same place, and then when I moved to uni, I was still working. Yeah.
You did uni like in the UK, right?
Yeah. Uni, University of Surrey. I studied law. Yeah.
Law? Why?
So, when I look at the course, right? Essentially, I just wanted something that gave me a blanket. And I think I don't know if this is like every law student or any creative person's decision.
Yeah.
You kind of do something that gives you a blanket. Like, I weighed up the options. I weighed up social policy, weight of social work.
Yeah.
And I just thought, if the government comes today and says, we're not giving any funding, that means my degree is just gone to waste, So, law was like the blanket thing, the course as well. And my dad was like, oh yeah, I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do it. And because me, I have coconut head. If you tell me I can't do something, I would do it.
Oh, so he thought you couldn't do law?
Yeah, like he knows me. Like, he knew me. He knew me for like the creative that I was, and like, in his words, you can never concentrate. But like, so he was just like a bit skeptical about me doing the course. But I took it on.
But you know what's so funny? Like, and I think that parents need to understand their creative children, right? I was always good at the arts. I couldn't stand the science students. I thought that they were something, but they were not creative. I thought they were like, they thought they were so intelligent because we were going to science class.
Right.
I was like, what do people know? I need talent. People don't have nothing. So, but my granny wanted them to study engineering. From where? Where will I bring out the skills to study that?
Wow.
So the only agreement that we could have, or the compromise, was that, if you're going to even do this art that you're going to do, Abby, it has to be the game course from law, from arts. So I just looked everywhere and said, God, will I study this theatre arts? I would ideally want to study this thing, but I don't think this woman will pay for my school fees if I try this. So let me go and do the law that everybody's talking about. My sister, 1 year diploma. I just told myself, say, if you continue like this, you don't graduate.
What did you do?
I did a year of diploma.
Okay.
So I was doing civil law.
Okay.
I was doing administrative law. I did a couple of law courses.
The core
I just realized that I was cramming cases. I'm just like, what's happening here? This is not me. So I went to history.
Okay.
Because I couldn't go to theatre arts after. Yeah. But I know that if I studied law for these 6 years, I would have been so miserable. I mean, you guys got away with it. I don't know how you eventually...
how did I get? Let's even get there. How did I get away with it? So, like, even like first year of uni, right? Start the course, first year of uni, I fail. Yeah, I failed my first year of uni.
You can't concentrate, according to your father. What happened?
So I was doing everything. I'm gonna put my hands clean, okay? I was doing everything except for law.
That's what happened to me too.
I was participating in ACS. I was ACS events
ACS?
planner. So African Society.
Right.
So I was events planner for that. I was doing Big Clash. There's a show called Big Clash where schools compete. I was part of the team.
Active.
So I was active. I was bait. Do you know what bait is? The bait is, when they see, Jen, you're right.
Yeah.
That was me. Yeah.
So you're popular jingle.
I was
knew you
popular.
From
Everybody knew me for
we knew.
Didn't even know what my course I was.
They were active in everything but the thing that they came to study in school.
And the irony is, I was shocked when I now failed.
That's me. My sister. Shocked. That was me. I was out of school. I was mourning. I was doing this. I was doing that. But then the result came out first semester. I said, I didn't make the cutoff. I said, I said, okay.
She's like, your thinking is 40%. What happened to 40%? They could have dashed it to me, and then maybe next year I'll be serious, But no. So as soon as that happened, literally my retake year, which was 2016, I remember just a friend saying to me, oh, well, go back to this thing that you love. You loved acting. What's going on with that? And I was like, oh, yeah, I loved acting. Yeah, because I completely forgot about it. I stopped acting. Yeah, I stopped acting. I thought, it's just a hobby. Now I get back to real life, You do a 9 to 5, we're lower, like normal people.
Because also that was easier. It was palpable. You could see that, with this 9 to 5, if I grew 3 years or 4 years, I'll earn
the truth is that did I see a vision? I didn't see a vision. It was almost like I was settling and not knowing that I was settling.
Yes.
Right. So no. Literally, my friend said, "Oh yeah, you love acting," and I was like, "Yeah, I love acting." And it wasn't as though I stopped watching films. I was still watching films, and then I got into a lot of Nollywood. Yeah, got into watching a lot of Nollywood, especially the new films. Thankfully, Rock, Iroko were really doing a thing at the time.
Had access to it from the UK.
Yeah, we had even
the apps. They had the apps.
Yeah, there was even a Rock on Sky. So, Rock on Sky. Yeah, there was a big event that I came to. Yeah, I got to see I got to see the big names. I remember Bisola hosted, and that was where I met Bisola for the first time. The UK, yeah. She was literally. This was before Big Brother. Yes, I met Bisola then, and I was such a
Bisola has been working on
since day dot. So it was so nice for me to be in that kind of environment. I remember auditioning for sending in a self-tape for a Nollywood audition.
When you were still in uni?
Yes. So this was
did you stop law or you just...
No, this was my retake year. Remember my retake year? So retake year, you usually have maybe 3 subjects that you're just taking for the year because you're catching up on what you failed, basically.
Yes, right. But you didn't quit law?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't. So in my retake year, got to send in my self-tape, got a good response back, and then they were like, oh yeah, well, do you want to fly to Nigeria? Will you be willing to fly to Nigeria to do this film?
To Nigeria?
Yeah.
Like a producer in Nigeria?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thankfully, he then said, oh yeah, I'm available. I'm actually in the UK. Come and do a physical read. So I did a physical read with him in the UK, and then, he was like, oh yeah, you got the job. And then, flew me back to Nigeria. I shot in Enugu. I shot with Chimezie Imo, Stan Nze, Kira Haywatch, Teddy Bear, Dan Ugoji, so many
Which
other.
movie was that?
It was a series that never got released.
Well, that's why you and Chimezie became friendly, Abby. From that scene. Oh wow.
That year, literally, we met that year, and we shot this thing. It was 3 of us were leads, myself, Chimezie, and Stan.
It never got released.
It never got released. It was a futuristic sci-fi, young people, trying to discover something in the CBD. It was pretty cool. Yeah, no, the SFX was so good, and it was shot on Black Magic. That year, 2016, it was so good. Tay, it was so good. So why did they not release that? That I cannot answer. I don't know.
Okay, let's go back.
It was so good.
So by your second year, you already flew to Nigeria to shoot a movie.
Yeah. 2016 flew in. I was still in uni, so as soon as I got back, I knew that I would pursue Nollywood, especially pursue opportunities here. So I started networking a lot, even though I was there, supporting where I could. So yeah, all the other the bits in between, and maybe I should.
So did you finish law and?
Yeah, I graduated from law 2018, and then as soon as I graduated, I flew to Tanzania for my friend's wedding. From Tanzania, I went to Nigeria, and I was there up until I've been here since like Christmas 2022.
Oh,
Yeah. So I've been in Nigeria since
Since-
2018 to 2022.
your family never see them.
I saw them. They came over. They came
Oh,
over
they came to
twice. They even
see
came
you.
to visit me in my flat for the first
Aw.
time. So yeah, no. I got to see them. So it wasn't as though like I was missing out.
Let's talk about you moving back to Nigeria, because it's a different ball game, and I met you around the time you just moved back, right?
Yeah. Literally, yeah. In the year.
Yeah. Tell me about that experience, just moving back to Nigeria. And, it's one thing to actually just say, I'm going to fly in and do a job. We're going to put you in a hotel.
Yeah.
And it's another thing to not enter the space and hustle with the rest of the
year.
young and upcoming actors.
Yeah. No. Lagos is really a crazy place to live.
Tell me.
So when I first got back here, I was kind of blessed to have extended family kind of let me into their house. So like I was living on the main. I was living in Orile.
Stop. I beg, stop.
See, I thought like I was living in Orile, right?
I beg, stop.
No, but like,
All the time when you're the scene, I really this thing.
I was living on my uncle's house, I swear.
I live
Tay.
in Surrey, but Orile is really...
Orile is really, yeah. So, I don't know if you ever went to like Smart Media. Did you ever go to Smart? Like, is this hub? It's actually a film company. It was a film company. In Surulere, right?
Yeah.
So because I lived in Orile, I'd like
easy.
as soon as I got into Nigeria, right? I was signed up for an acting course, like a week's acting course, and it was in Surulere. So like literally the next day, after arriving, I went to the acting course. That's where I met Buwemi. I met Tommy. I met Ijoma, Wesago.
Your cast members from Far From Home.
Yeah, some of my cast members from Far From Home.
Buwemi has been hustling too.
I know.
Buwemi.
Yes, I met her. Who else did I meet? Yes, I just met loads of other people that like are still with me in my journey today.
Yeah.
But that place, I love that place because they really gave me the opportunity to like show up. After the classes were done, I asked if I could come in every day just to have internet and write my play. They were like, yes, you can do that. So they really opened their space to me. There was like Wi-Fi ordered every day. I was able to write my play.
So it was a hub for like young people to just create.
Yeah, I was able to write my play, which I then performed at Lagos Fringe that year.
Yeah, you were doing a lot of things beyond acting, no?
Yeah. When I got here, I had like three plans. I had 3 plans in mind. Wanted to do my headshot. I wanted to write my play, and I wanted a showreel.
Right.
Showreel was like a latter, like because if you have job, you have showreel.
You can get a,
Right. So I did my headshots, and then I wrote my play. My play was called Home, and it premiered at Lagos Fringe Festival. Yeah, so that was like the place where I got to like did this 33-minute long play. Had it directed by Ibuku Fashionhan, who's a friend now. So yeah, no, it was the opportunity for me to show my skills. And I got to invite a bunch of people that I knew. And I remember I knew Lala from like London because I showed up at one of the events.
Yeah.
We need to talk about London, by the way.
Yeah.
I showed up at one of the events. So that was how I knew Auntie Lala, right? So yeah, she came to see my play. And I think she's also the person that I kind of asked if she could mentor me at the time. And she said, oh no, we'll see. You just be like you just assist me for now. So so I really am grateful to her because like she let me get into all the rooms that she was in. So I got to see her process.
Yeah.
And also like I was just really excited. I'm fangirling, I'll just see Auntie Kate show. I'm like, oh my God, like, even though I'm buying your beans, but it's you. So it's pretty exciting for me.
I met you in 2019, right?
Yes.
This was how many years into like you had moved here? How many years?
Like I moved like 2nd of August 2018.
Okay, so
and you met me within the year.
Yeah, this
like,
was after your play, right? That's when Steve met you, like.
Yeah, literally, you met me within the year of like me moving in.
Right.
Yeah, so 2018 August, and I saw you September.
Yeah,
September.
I think the first time I actually met you was on Steve's sets. We like call it his sets. He was doing a play called I Be Man.
Yes.
And I remember we're just a bunch of young Unilag, fresh out of Unilag, hustling. I'd held a 9 to 5 for 2 years after uni.
Okay.
And I just resigned, or I was just fired. I can't remember what happened. But either ways, I left my job. Life was kicking me in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Steve said he had a play. I was living in Nigeria at the time, and I didn't have anything I was doing in my life.
Right.
So my little transfer, why I don't save for my former work, I can say, no, it's
Jeez.
maybe we just do this play as
Carry and go
this is the career that we want to chase.
Where were we even doing
my
that?
friend, we were coming to rehearse at
because it wasn't
Unilag. We're doing Unilag.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to Unilag Creative Arts and we'll rehearse.
You see, your relay was close to you. You can't say that. It's not close now.
Our relay was central. Are you joking? So one day, I think it wasn't you that was supposed to play that role. I think somebody else had tried.
Right.
And I think they brought you on much later, right? And I just walk in and normally we're all local champions there. I hear one girl with accent. And the first time you climbed the stage and you were delivering your role, I said, how can Steve Chooks afford to pay this girl? Because they're not paying any of us here.
I was screaming.
I say, because I'd never seen, like we're also amateurs at the time. Yeah. Or Steve Chooks had some education in acting.
Yeah.
I was just off the top of my head, just do what I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, this girl is so brilliant to be in this circle with these people like this. Because I know all the actors here, we're local champions, or Unilag students, and we're all hustling. You understand? I'm like, where did they bring this one from? Then we had the conversation and realized that this girl was also hustling at like also.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I really admired about you was that you knew where you're coming from. And you were so bent on achieving whatever like. Your work ethic was out of this world. Like if we had to rehearse 20 times, you'd be there with us.
Aww.
If we had to, and that's the beautiful thing about people's journeys. Like people just think that you sprang out of nowhere. Like Genoveva just came in, but those days where I couldn't understand how this girl with accent was here hustling with us and this play, there was for Unilag. Now we're producing for Unilag. Mm-hmm. Why did you take on that play?
I mean, I love plays. Yeah, and Steve, was like, at the end of the day, it was like IB Man. It was like breaking down stereotypes about what it is to be. Toxic masculinity, what it's like to be a man. So no, I wanted to be a part of that. Yeah.
Did you write your own script? Because
no. He gave me like a scene and a whole character and like so I just needed to prep that.
So there's something about you that I need to talk about as well, beyond just meeting you, is the fact that you were so committed to process. And in this time and day, not so many people are committed to process. What is it that you knew that was different from what other people knew at the time? Because at the time that I met you, also, I think it was one rehearsal that you had to go back to one set. I don't know if it was Sugar Rush. You were an assistant on the set.
Rehearsal. Yeah. Yeah, I was an assistant on Sugar Rush.
And you did a lot of behind the scenes before.
Absolutely.
Before you finally got your big break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, why were you so committed to the process? Because at some point, some people just say, you know what, I don't try. Maybe I'm a UK girl and I could just be on TV or do something else. But you kept doing behind the scenes work. You kept trying and trying. What was it that you knew that?
So I'm really passionate. Like I'm really passionate about acting and and the work in general. But I also think I'm not, like, I don't see like my privilege. Like, we're all privileged in a particular way, but I just don't I don't wear it. Like, I see work and I see this is the opportunity, this is what I want to do. I also don't want to be at home, broke and jobless and say, I can't act or I'm not in. I just wanted to be in a film environment where I'm learning and I'm also like experiencing people at the same time. And I also think it's like very good for me to like see all the do's and don'ts, because like once you're there, you kind of know like, oh, this is the kind of person I want to be like, I love her because of the way she is, or like you get to experience all of those things, and I wanted to experience all of those things.
And you're not bothered that you're not in front of the screen.
Yeah, and I love that fact that we're telling African stories. So let me tell you something: the difference between like working in Nigeria and working abroad is that you always feel like you're competing against the white man. abroad, you always feel like you are having to like, um, I suppose, seek validation from them. Like you need their nod for everything.
Right.
You need executives to say yes to whatever thing you're commissioning. But in Africa, you can create what you need to create as long as you have the team for it. What I love about Nigeria is we don't know how blessed we are to be working amongst ourselves.
Right.
Because like working in an environment where it's just Black people creating for Black people is such a blessing. Like, you know, it's Nigerians creating Nigerian film for the world.
Yeah.
And you know, so I felt really lucky to be in that environment where we're creating stories that are representative of us. So I think that's really what drove me. And when I think about London and that time where I was assisting, I assisted DJ Bass.
No, I don't know.
Right, so DJ Bass is a UK consultant, media consultant. Actually, one of the great founders for Afrobeats. If you've watched that documentary on Netflix, no, so he's really really great. He gave me the opportunity to like just come and work, like you know, like I guess shadow him.
Right.
So I would man all the ticketing for like films like CEO. For Queen Afolayan, First Lady, Omonioboli, Jennifer's Diary, Funke Akindele, you know, so I would really be there. And as soon as we're done with ticketing and all of that stuff, I could go straight to the auditorium, watch the film. And what I would do is like I write like questions that I want to ask a filmmaker. You know, maybe if I'm watching or if I have thoughts that I want to like share.
That's what I'm saying. You're always that girl.
I write it down and then I'll go down and then, you know, be the first to like ask the question. I remember getting really lucky this one time. I asked Auntie Funke, you know, like, oh, Auntie Funke, I think Adakuni's a sister. This is like when Jennifer's Diary was like popping. And she was like, wow, yeah, maybe, you know, I was like, oh, if you're filming, please, you know, think about me. And she said, oh, actually, we're filming right now. Give your name to Onome or something like that. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, and that was how I got to play an extra on Jennifer's Diary, in season 7. I'll never forget. So yeah, no, it was those moments when I look back on it, especially asking questions like, is it worth going back to Nigeria to do film? You know, and the answer would be like, yes. Look at Beverly Naya, you know, like, or look at, you know, at the time, somebody that I did look to, and I felt like, wow, if she's doing it, then maybe I can do it, was Adesua. And her work in Knocking on Heaven's Door, Falling, you know, I felt like I have the range that this lady has, even though I've never really shown it, but I felt like, you know, this is someone that's really, really talented. And I feel like I'm just as talented. And if I wanted to do this, you know, perhaps it's possible. By God's grace, you know, and that's literally what I wrote on.
I'm so happy for you. Let's talk about your big break. Blood Sisters.
Blood Sisters.
When I saw you on Blood Sisters, I'm like, finally, they're finally giving this girl a chance. Thank you, my boo.
Finally.
Like in my room, I screamed. I'm like, you know, one of the things that, you know, when I saw the ad and I saw that you were going to be in it.
Right.
I already knew they were going to give them a run for their money.
Thank
I was like,
you.
finally. And you know that thing where, from one hustler to another hustler, you knew me when we were. And you think about processes that one day, it go reach your turn. Depending on the day where God smile on you, Sha. And there's nothing as beautiful as being prepared for your moments.
Right.
And I think that's what happened with Blood Sisters, because you were so prepared. You ate it up, spat it out, regurgitated, gave us like a character that we remember from Blood Sisters. But what was it like auditioning? Because I think that you went to the school first.
Right,
you were in the school.
Ebony Life Creative Academy.
Yeah. And was it because you were in school, that's why you got the auditions? How did the audition come about?
Right, so we were, first of all, I'm really grateful to that school. I feel like if you're an actor and you're really looking to get in training, I would recommend
I want to go to that school, but they say that I cannot be traveling up and down. I have to be present in class. Yeah. And I have a career now.
So like it's like that's right now, like if you don't have a career where you're needed, just go there. Like
no, but I really want to do it. So, but 2 months just.
I think
in one place.
Fingers crossed, they have like a thing for like working class people. That way you're not having to like it's like an evening course situation. That would be great. Hopefully they get to do short courses. But yeah, a wonderful place because right about 2020, I'd lost all my confidence. Lockdown came. My parents were like, okay, you should stay in Lagos because it's, it's far worse in London. And I said, okay, it's fine. I don't want COVID.
What do you mean you had lost all your confidence?
I hadn't worked in a while. I'd been extremely unhealthy. So this is the biggest I'd ever been in my entire life. I had the worst acne from nowhere.
Yeah.
And again, it was also the year where I moved in on my own. So I was really dealing with panicking about the next rent. I was just really in a funk.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
An opportunity did come before Blood Sisters. Right. And that opportunity, when it came, I didn't get it. And it felt like most of my friends got the opportunity. Bear in mind, by the way, I'm going to tell you what opportunity this is. All my friends get it. I don't get it. I'm like, wow, why am I in Nigeria?
What's left?
What's the point of being here? Netflix have come.
And you might be telling lots of things.
Do you understand? Yeah. They have picked their candidates. You are not part of them. Go home,
Oh, so you were considering going back to the UK?
Yeah, I was considering going back home. And also my parents, as much as they are really supportive, they're also like quite, so if this thing is not working for you, you need to
come back and look for a job.
Yeah. 2021 pulls round and I see ELCA, I see Urban Life Creative Academy. I'm like, okay, I'm not working, but I need to get back in training. I need to, go back to like the reasons why I love doing what I'm doing, the reasons why I fell in love with acting, and also being in a space where like people are like sharing ideas and like you're acting with each other and you're creating, like you're just being imaginative. I love spaces like that. So yeah, got into that room. Honestly, Drickus, the tutor we had, changed my life in terms of like how I look at acting, how I look at performance and how I fit in the space. So no, as soon as we started training, loved it, enjoyed the process. Then towards the end of training, we had done a couple of short films. One of the short films, Kenneth Gang, who was head of directing at the time, he saw it and they were casting for Timeyin and they hadn't quite found the character. So he mentioned my name to Antimo Abudu, who then says, okay, she should come in for the audition. I get the email that I have this audition in 2 days. When I read the summary, I read her character Bible. I was like, this girl, I love her. I could go home with her.
She was a druggie, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't do drugs, so where did you get your own reference from?
Bro, it was just an exciting character to like that I could play with. Like, with Timeyin, it was like, okay, there were no holds barred.
She could have been anything.
She could have been anything. Like you could have given her like a wink or a crazy walk. Like you could have, really been interesting with her. And she was like the black sheep. So there was an opportunity to really, really, really explore her.
Yeah.
So I was excited to do that. And then when I showed up at the audition, I remember feeling really excited and really ready. And I also remember feeling like, usually, how you go to auditions and then you see like somebody this person don't get the job now. Wait till I do here.
Yes.
All of those, I didn't I didn't have that feeling. And that's because I learned that auditions are just made for you to have fun and to also discover who you are. Like,
really?
Yeah.
That's not what audition is for me.
If
you see me when I'm going for audition,
but
I'm like this.
But exactly, but that's like you have to change that mindset, like because you're supposed to have fun and you're also supposed to like
that's
challenge
my next
yourself.
Paycheck. Which one is supposed to have fun?
But that's the thing. If you stop thinking about it in that, oh yeah, this is the character that I must get.
Yeah, I know.
They must like me, right? Then, so no, it was an opportunity for me to have fun. And I remember just walking in, seeing Auntie Mo, seeing Ted, seeing Kenneth Gang, Quincy, and Heidi, and like 5 of them, like literally sitting there. But I was just.
So what did you do?
I remember being nervous, and I remember like after saying doing the first take of the thing, I was like, I'm nervous, and this is the first time that I'm saying in an audition room, I'm nervous. Let me, and I really shake it out. Yeah, literally in front of them. In front of them. I'm nervous and I shake it out and then I go again. And then they gave me another side. I did that. Then they gave me like a surprise side. There's a side that I never got an email. And it was really interesting, right? Because this is what this girl does. She literally, what does she do? I don't want to mix up two sides, but let's just go with the two, right? She walks into a party and there's drinks and stuff. So, but all the drinks are empty. So she looks through and she doesn't see anything. So she literally shouts from across the room, "Waiter!" And then starts looking for the, more alcohol, blah, blah. She causes a nuisance. Then she goes to the bathroom. But bear in mind, there's no props for this. So she goes to the bathroom, flushes, comes out, looking at the mirror, and then she slaps herself like 5 times. And before she slaps herself, she's about to like well up. And she doesn't want to cry, so she slaps herself to like control her tears. Yeah, and then she doesn't cry, and then she steps out. So yeah, no, that was really, really fun. Imagine having that as a side, and you have to completely do it with your imagination. Oh, so fun.
So you slapped yourself in front of
100%.
What was
the best slap I ever gave myself.
With this roller, if this shit hurts, you sort it out after.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then I got really blessed and I got the opportunity. Grateful to Ebony Life. Grateful to Netflix. Because yeah, it could have gone to somebody else that's well known. But they really took a gamble on me.
Well, that's amazing. What was it like working on that set? Like with people that you've always these are all the Auntie-Kates and the rest that you've always
a dream
revered.
Come true. Literally, like a dream come. Like
you never felt intimidated at any point?
No, because no. Unfortunately, that's really the boring answer. I'm so sorry. Like everyone asks, I get that question a lot, right? But I always give the boring answer because I feel like when you know yourself as an actor, right, and you know what the character is, I don't know. I'm less like fangirl. I'll fangirl pre you. In fact, as soon as I know I'm working with you, let's say I know I'm working with you, I'll message you. Because I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to work with you. Like get familiarity in. And also like tell you everything that I feel about you before we start work. But as soon as like the character comes in, it's I just play with what the character needs. So yeah, I wasn't intimidated because like, I also felt like I was a professional as well.
I'm very excited for you and what Blood Sisters did for you. And just after Blood Sisters came Far From Home. Right. So, and I know that you've been producing Far From Home for a minute now. So, was it after Blood Sisters that you got on the set for Far From Home? Or?
Right. So the opportunity I'd missed out on in 2020 was Far From Home. Yeah. I didn't book the gig in 2020.
So the auditions was in 2020. God works in mysterious ways.
In mysterious ways. Like the same character, Zina. I didn't book her that year.
What had happened with the character? Like,
what had happened? Why they recast and everything?
Yeah.
To my knowledge, I think they, I think one of the character, the person who's supposed to play, she traveled. I believe, yeah. But like again, when I think about like the role and stuff, and then when they got back to like auditioning again. I just finished Blood Sisters. It was actually a week after I finished Blood Sisters. I was told to come back and read for Zina. And I had serious PTSD at this point because I was just like, okay, you guys gonna tell me to go back home. But I also felt very excited at the opportunity of like playing her. So yeah, I gave her more.
Tell me about Far From Home. What was it like shooting on that set? That was a Netflix set where I think I did a cameo at the beginning. And I know that set there, really everything was organized, everything was, you understand? So like, what was it like for you shooting on that set? And knowing that, this was a character that you didn't get in 2020. God brought it back to you. Like, what was it like?
I don't know, like really surreal. And also like a really wonderful experience as well because it felt like I was working with all the people I came up with. All the people that I'd been hustling in the trenches with, like really doing auditions, like, we were staying in each other's houses, like, just to do auditions and like, we were really supporting each other. So for Mike, I'd known him since like Kasala, like the first showing of Kasala in 2019. I remember I came to a festival. for Bube and me, like, met her second day of being in the country. And Tommy as well. And like, and then, making new friends like Nasher and like Ruby. It was nice. It was nice to like, it felt like I was working with family. And we could be our young selves and just like really vibe and still get the work done because we know how hard we had worked to get on the project. And the project in entirety, when I think about the crew, when I think about Netflix, when I think about Inkblot, the production company, I think it's really a dream for everybody.
Yeah.
And to have it get released and like the reception is beautiful.
Exactly.
It's nice. It feels like a renaissance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of the reception, I know that it became like a cultural moment for
Right.
so there's too many conversations about the movie. First of all, the series, right? First of all, like it was a new crop of actors that you guys have been acting for a while, but it felt like it was a breath of fresh air. People were saying, you know what? Finally, they're using different people in this Nollywood. Hey, can you come?
Yeah.
And everybody ate up their roles.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that feeling of, something that's, they're going to talk about for a long time in this country. You probably go to places, I'm like, you know that girl from far from home.
Yeah.
What does that feeling do to you after hustling for this long?
God gets the glory. God gets the glory.
He gets it, sis.
Because like it's nice, but like, it's still like, okay, thank you God for like how far I've come. And I'm also really, like I told you, I was speaking to you earlier, I was saying like I'm really receptive of all that good energy. Like if you see me on the streets, and you say Jen, I will say Jen, my G, you know what I'm saying? Because like, it's new. It's new. It's same thing. If you're feeling, oh my God, I love her. Same thing, I'm feeling the same thing. Whatever you're feeling is really mutual.
So what has changed now? Are you there's more pressure on you to perform?
Okay.
Celebrity life, you have like almost like 300,000 followers now. What's the difference between when your life was just going for auditions and now that you're now that girl that is in lots of productions that people know about?
Right.
Because if you're walking on the road now, they're gonna know you.
Yeah. So I'm really grateful that I have access to people to ask all the questions and like fundamentally life questions that I need. I'm really grateful for that. I think that's what's like the blessings that I've received. I think the most, I'm most thankful for the people that I get to that I have access to. Yeah. And I could really, really pick their brains, and like being famous is a different ballgame.
Exactly. Like what are the lifestyle changes? Like how did it affect you? How does it affect your life, your everyday life?
I don't know. I'm still eating my akara and pap. I eat on Saturday morning. Yeah. I'm still, I'm still living my life. I think the most important thing to me is like keeping in contact with the people that remind me of my power, like family, friends. I think that's like the most. I'm more aware that I need to stay in contact with them.
One of the things that I like about you is that you're very big on God. So I don't know your relationship with God, but I mean, like every time I see your post, thank you Jesus for this, thank you Jesus for that. You recently were nominated for the AMVCA, and you were like, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. I'm like, hey, this is not Jesus girl.
Like, no. Oh, no. It was incredible to be part of that. Is like actually insane. And also like huge validation for like, my work. And trusting that and trusting him. And like, no, it was really cool.
Let me ask you before I finally let you go, right? How easy is it to trust God, especially when you're in the thick of your hustle days, right? And sometimes it just doesn't look as if, like, should I go back to London or not? What's going on?
So I don't know if I'm somebody that like dwells on like all the negatives or like the things that like stop life. like when you know how you don't have money now. It's, I'm broke. And that will make you,
I will
and
literally,
that will make you stew.
I will literally almost lose my mind.
Yeah, you stew in your energy, and you might let that affect every other thing. I'm somebody that I don't let that kind of energy affect all the other things.
Really?
Yeah.
But speaking of broke now, from me to you,
Yeah.
is the money flowing like that now?
It's interesting. Wow.
Because the way you arrived here like this, you arrived here like a star. So I want to know that, this industry like this, once you don't blow smoke like this, you could attract different money.
Yeah.
I want to know if it's...
I think I definitely attract money. It's just depending on like what kind of like...
Because the lifestyle.
Right, exactly me. I always do according to my cloth.
So right about now, we're at the segment where Lipton gives you a gift.
Oh.
But before they give you that gift, you have to spill the tea. To spill some Lipton tea. And I'm going to ask you if
I didn't spill enough tea.
Oh, really?
Oh,
you have
wow.
to spill the realest of realest teas.
Wow.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if you answer nicely and correctly, I'm going to reward you with something very nice. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
To spill the tea.
I'm ready.
Okay. You're honestly far from home and things are different. Do you ever regret making the move back?
Absolutely
Of
not.
course not. Yeah. No, my producer thought she was slick with using this.
Yeah,
honestly,
the
far
language.
From home. Okay, so you've played some interesting roles. What is your favorite character or role that you've been casting?
Favorite character or role?
And don't be political, because I would use this tea to stone you.
It's tough.
I know. It's a lie.
No, it's really
Somewhere
tough.
deep down, there's the character that you know what? I will play her over and over and over again.
A lot, most of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I beg Genoveva, go.
Sorry, no. Here's my thoughts, right? So when I think about Timeyin, I would play that character over and over again.
Right.
Like when I think about Zina, I would play that character over and over again. So like I don't really have.
So it's Timeyin and Zina.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Of course, it's Timeyin and Zina.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about living in Nigeria since you moved back, and what's the worst?
What's the worst thing about living in Nigeria?
What's your favorite thing about living in Nigeria? And what's the worst thing about living in Nigeria?
Oh, I love the food. Yeah, and I love the people. I think we're actually people that we laugh a lot, and we actually enjoy ourselves. Like every moment we're living like it's our last, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing I love about it. What's the question?
What's the worst thing about living here?
Here, what's the worst? Oh, our infrastructure. I hate that we're still dealing with like 24-hour lights situation. There's a lack of security. Even when it comes to like education for young people, they're still having to like delay their times in university, and I feel like a lot of the opportunities that a Nigerian would get abroad would be incredible if those opportunities were open to us here in Africa.
True.
Yeah, that's one thing I
like that last one, because infrastructure is also a problem here.
Yeah,
too many things that we should not be struggling for here.
Yes. Do you know what it will take to like have like 24-hour lights?
It will change a lot of
things. It changes a lot of things. Like recently, I'll tell you the truth. Recently, I got an inverter, right? I was never an inverter girl, yeah.
Inverter cost, my friend.
It costs.
Superstar actress.
It's great. No. But like, the life I was living, like in terms of like just like breathing, like every day and not having to think about it. Yeah, really, really, really is different.
I know it's not easy, right? In Nigeria right now, but one thing that I can assure you is that I will always have tea for you.
Clearly.
In the morning when you need to clear your head, there will be tea for you. In the afternoons when it's hot,
there will be tea.
You can make some iced tea.
In
the evenings,
okay.
when you've had a long day, Lipton will be here for you.
Wow, Lipton, are you there for me?
On behalf of Lipton, I present to you this huge.
This is really a huge gift basket.
So huge.
It's really giving.
Yellow.
Oh my gosh. I came to the right place.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on my show. I hope this episode inspires a lot of people that are like you, who really want to be successful in whatever careers that you choose. I know that process is so important, and understanding your industry is very important. And eventually it will become your turn one day, as long as you keep hustling and grinding. I'm so proud of you.
Life not turn by turn.
Not turn by turn. Cheers to
Thank you.
more.
You know, my dad said, my dad coined this thing that I use all the time. Or actually, my mom coined it.
Okay.
And it says, Ukwarogia or da. That means when the breadfruit is ready, it will fall.
Right.
Yeah.
Woo!
So,
Preach.
yeah. So, keep
Cheers.
working.
Cheers to the breadfruit and it's all, and cheers to it falling.
Cheers.
Your breadfruit will fall in Jesus' name.
Amen. Hey guys, I've just been on Tea With Tay podcast. It was lit. Obviously, this guy just cares about, inspiring you guys. And I'm so blessed to be on this couch. I'm finally here. I've made it. And I hope you guys learned some things or took something away from the conversation. Thanks for, being a part of this. Thanks for rooting for me as well. Rooting for us.